Hi, I'm Graham and welcome to Man vs Film. This is going to be a documentary review for Electric Boogaloo, the wild story of Canon films. Now, if you're any kind of movie fan that was around in the 80s, you will know who Canon were and their slew of movies that were out. It was basically two cousins, brothers, Globe and Globus, who came from Israel, who had made some movies there and were quite successful, came over to the US, bought a small production company called Canon, and pretended to be one of the big boys. They were firing movies out as quickly as they could. They sold their movies. They worked off a very strange and unusual at the time selling practice, which is how they got so big so fast and has actually been still used today by other film companies very similar to them. And they kind of started off with softcore porn kind of pictures and moved on up into say big action movies starring Sylvester Stallone of all names and things like that. And it's a very interesting documentary to see how these guys kind of muscled into Hollywood and sort of did it on their own terms and made what they wanted to make. And it's really interesting to hear the sort of business practices behind it. How they'd go to Cannes, spend an absolute fortune, just advertise these movies, but all they had was posters. Once they sold the foreign rights, then they would actually decide what movies they were going to make after that. A strange practice, but it seemed to work for them. And I found this to be like extremely interesting and quite wild and wacky how they actually got away with it. Gave you lots of information on how they kind of ran their business at the time, ultimately running it into the ground by overreaching and overspending when they shouldn't have. The sort of other part of this movie is kind of talking about some of the movies that they made, some of the bigger movies and movies that I generally love. It was like a nostalgic trip. So it talks about movies like Delta Force, American Ninja, 1 to 5, the Tobe Hooper like trilogy of crazy movies, you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which was supposed to be a horror but was kind of a really black comedy, something that they weren't expecting. He did Life Force as well, and he also did the Invaders from Mars remake. And then it's got like Stallone's movie Over the Top, the arm wrestling movie, and it had a slew of other things that I've never even heard of, which I'm going to have to check out. There's a musical called The Apple that looks horrendous, look really bad, but I'm going to have to see that now because after this documentary, I was left with a list of movies that I just have to check out. If you're a huge fan of movies, if you were at the video shops around about the 80s, you'd have definitely rented a few of these guys' movies, more than a few. This will bring back some nostalgic feelings. It will bring back some old movies that you haven't thought about in years. And it's terrific to watch and see clips of them and, you know, put them into your head like, I need to see that again. Even though I know it's probably going to be crap, I still need to see some of these movies again. It's a hard one to rate because, like I said, it's quite interesting. It doesn't give you all the information about the brothers because they didn't want to be in the documentary themselves, but it does give you a lot of information about them. On the nostalgic factor, it's off the charts because it was showing me all these movies that I know and love, some that I've just picked up on Blu-ray recently because I still love these flicks and I'm nostalgic for them. So, but overall, I think just to be on the safe side, I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5. It's a very good movie, and like I said, if you're from that era, you will love it. I want to know what your favourite Canon movies were. So let me know in the comment box below what you thought was the best. And I will see you next time on Man vs Film.